Imagine this. You're watching your favorite movie or reading a great book, so captivating that you completely lose track of time. You're hooked, emotionally invested, and absorbed into the story. But why? According to David Phillips, in his TEDx talk, The Magical Science of Storytelling, the answer lies in the brain chemistry. Now, for Phillips, emotional investment is key to the power of storytelling. The more emotionally invested we are, the less critical and objective we become. He uses the example of falling in love. Storytelling, just like falling in love, overrides rational thinking and immerses us in emotion. He asks the audience, who here has fallen in love? And says, it's a great feeling, isn't it? So he immediately starts developing this relationship with the audience. His energetic yet grounding presence keeps the audience engaged, while his breath is steady and controls his vocal modulation, allowing him to shift between a calm and steady explanation to heightened intensities. Now, his main goal is to trigger three neurotransmitters in his audience. Once again, engaging with the audience by asking them and telling them that he's going to do so, actually. So he starts off with dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for enhancing focus, motivation, and memory. And he does this by telling a story. He builds the suspense, sets up a cliffhanger, and keeps the audience hooked. I wanted to know what would happen. So his strategic pauses let the emotions settle and the anticipation build. Now, the second chemical that he attempts to induce in the audience is oxytocin, which is responsible for the increase of trust, generosity, and empathy. And he asks the audience if they would like to do that with him. So again, he sets to tell a story, but this time he slows down, lowers his voice, sits down in a stool, and softens his expression, and begins to tell a story of when his child died in his wife's womb. His warm and natural gestures were like we were sitting in an intimate conversation rather than a formal lecture. Now, for the third chemical, endorphins, which are responsible for joy and relaxation, he he shows a video of a woman at her wedding who, for to save the life of her, she just could not stop laughing at the altar while reciting her vows. And in his own lecture, he uses humor to connect with the audience as well. So for Phillips's talk, it's it was also performance rather than just an explanation of storytelling. He demonstrates it. He uses breath control. He walks around the stage comfortably and uses descriptive language to create a vivid and immersive experience. His storytelling was clear, structured, setting up scenes, introducing characters, and leading into the conflict or resolution, which shows how stories shape perception, influence our decisions, and ultimately drive connections. It the way that he was able to navigate this talk showed why storytelling is a powerful tool for emotional impact and understanding how stories affect us allows us to be more intentional about the narratives we consume and create.